So what's the current demand for taxidermy?
The current demand, so there are hundreds of thousands of hunters throughout the US alone. We have tens of thousands of hunters coming from other countries to the US to be able to hunt elk and other animals that are not in their countries. So, of course, they want to preserve their hunt.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
And welcome to the Tiberius Show today, and I'm your host, Tiberius Boy. And as always, we're looking at various jobs and how they affect the world around us. Today's case is going to be very interesting. We're going to talk to a professional hunter. Pew pew, we get to shoot things. Pew 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 pew. But do you have any idea what a professional hunter does? Well, I think I do, but let's just talk to this lady and find out for sure. Let me introduce our next guest, the one, the only, the amazing Kimberly Darling.
Good afternoon, Tiberius. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's such an honor.
Okay, so how exactly did you start with hunting?
So, I was 4 years old, being raised in Alabama, and my grandfather took me out on my very first hunt for rabbits. Um, he explained to me that while they're cute and fluffy, they have a benefit for humans too. We can eat them. We can use their fur for hats and gloves during the winter. But we're also doing population control. I don't know if you knew this or not, but rabbits can have 12 babies per litter
Whoa.
up to 4 times a year. That's a lot of bunnies. So not only are we using this rabbit for food, we're keeping the population under control.
Oh, yeah.
And while we can eat them, they do carry different diseases that can spread to our pets. They can spread to humans if you're bitten, and they were destroying the garden.
So, when your grandfather handed you this rifle, what was going through your mind? Were you more scared of the bunny or the gun?
I honestly was a little timid when it came to the gun because I was raised in a household of gun owners and hunters. So when I was handed this Winchester 22 rifle, which is one of the smallest gauges you can have, um, I was a little timid, but I found my courage. I took the shot on the big bunny rabbit that I saw, and I got my harvest. So my grandfather was so proud because I had just provided food for my family. You can eat these.
So, was it the first wild animal that you cooked and ate?
It was. So
Mm.
my grandparents were from Ireland, and my grandmother, it was her job to teach me how to clean and how to cook the rabbit.
Mm.
And she said the number one fail safe way to cook her bunny is in a stew with vegetables and fresh herbs from the garden. And there is nothing greater than eating your own harvest.
I mean, she isn't wrong. So your grandfather taught you a lot about hunting responsibly, right? Was he kind of like a real life Mr. Miyagi, but with camo?
Yes, he was. So my grandfather, when I was 4, my grandfather was 64 years old, and he had been hunting since he was 7.
Oh wow.
So what is that? 57 years?
Yep.
Yeah. So he had been hunting a very, very long time. And he taught me respect. He taught me honor. He taught me ethical hunting. So that's what I've carried on throughout my life. And I am 41 years old now.
Oh wow. That's 37 years.
Correct.
So in your bio, it says you made rabbit stew. If Gordon Ramsay really tried it, would he scream about someone being a donkey or cry out with joy?
Oh my goodness. I know Gordon Ramsay loves home cooked meals. You cannot go wrong with a home cooked meal, especially wild game.
So I read that you really emphasize ethical hunting. Can you explain to my listeners exactly what does that mean and how can teens relate to that idea?
So, ethical hunting is you hunt with and treat the animal with respect, with honor. You are following the laws and the regulations put forth by the state and by the government. There's a reason we have these laws and regulations. So you also try to make the kill as painless as possible. So if you can't get a good enough shot, say you just wound it, you're going to cause it a lot of pain. And I've passed up shots because I knew I couldn't do it without causing the animal a lot of pain.
So, Kim, do you think your learning to hunt made you more responsible in other areas of life?
Yes, absolutely. It helped shape me as a mother. It helped shape me as, a fiance in my relationships. It helped shape me as a friend. And it just it changes who you are. It helps you become stronger. It helps you become more independent. um it's just I can't go on enough about it. I love it.
So, what's the scariest thing that has happened while you were hunting?
Oh, the scariest thing. Well, I hope you have a second because let me tell you a story. um It was the most dangerous hunt I ever went on, and it was for something called a King Eider sea duck. And the only place you can hunt these things is the Alaskan chain or the Aleutian chain in Alaska. So they are sea ducks. They very rarely come back into land. You won't ever see them down in Florida or Alabama or anything like that. You have to go to Alaska. So the day that my friends and I went out, it was 20 below zero. There was a 30-mile-an-hour northern wind. So if you calculate the wind chill on that negative 20, it was cold. Plus, we had 3-foot whitecaps on the sea. We are in I don't know if you know what a john boat is, the small aluminum boats,
Ooh.
flat bottom boats. So we were in one of those, and I'm in all this thick gear. I look like Ralphie from A Christmas Story. I can barely move. I am still cold. But we get out there, and I get nauseous.
Oh no.
I get sick because the waves, they're just tossing you. And you're just thinking, okay, it's like over 1,000 feet deep into this water. If I fall in, I've got my life vest on, and we've got a winter squall that's trying to push through. So probably wasn't the best time to go out if I think about it. But it, needless to say, it was a highly dangerous hunt. Highly dangerous hunt. Um, but then we saw them. We saw the King Eiders. They were flying in, a huge flock of them coming in. We took our positions in the boat, and I grabbed my Eider call and I started calling on them, and then they turned and they started coming back. And we're all excited. I'm freezing. I don't know if I can take the shot because my fingers are numb. Um, with the water throwing us around like a rag doll, then all of a sudden, boom, 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 and everybody starts unloading. I take my shots, and we got them. So we kind of start going around to go pick up the ducks, and we finally get back to shore. I literally roll out of the boat. I just rolled. I was so seasick. I rolled out of the boat and laid on the ground for a second, and I'm just like, that was probably the worst idea I have ever made in my entire life. But we got our ducks, we got the meat. We made what they called Eider jalapeno poppers.
Ooh.
So, yeah, if you know what a jalapeno popper is, um, instead of putting like beef or anything like that in there, you put the eider breast. You cut them up and you put them in there, and then you wrap it in bacon and you grill it. And they were so good. So good. But yeah, that was the scariest thing I have ever done hunting wise.
Okay, so it says in your bio that you spent 3 days in a deer stand. I can't stand still at a pinball machine for 3 hours. How do you have the patience to stay still for so long?
So what I do is I hunt out of a box blind. A box blind is completely enclosed. And you've got windows that kind of, let you see out, let you see what's moving around and everything. So you can kind of move around in the blind as long as you're quiet. You can stand up, you can stretch, you can do all of that. Um, but it was 12 hours a day for 3 days until that buck I had been after, that whitetail buck, walked out.
Ooh. Okay. So, how did you get from hunting around the world to being on TV?
Um, I was actually discovered in Alaska by a company called Animal Planet. And they had a show called Wild West Alaska. It was a gun show. And they asked if I would like to be on it. And I was so excited. I was so scared. I said, sure, let's do it. You only live once. Why not? Overcome your fears. So after that, after being aired on Animal Planet, more hunting shows kind of started coming out of the woodwork. And it was just one show after another. And it has been so amazing and such a blessing.
So, what is something you think kids should know about the real side of a hunting show?
About the real side of a hunting show, unlike reality TV, you get one take. That's it. You get one take, one shot, one bullet. And you can't redo it at all. that is your only chance. There is a lot of traveling, um, and you have to know the laws and the rules and the regulations of every country that you go into. Because if you don't, you will be hit with a poaching fee and could possibly go to jail.
Ouch. So, what is one thing you think kids should know about being a professional hunter?
Um, what is one thing I think? You have to be an upstanding citizen. You really do. In everything you do, because you are in the public eye and people are watching you and they're looking to you for your knowledge and for your expertise. So you really, really, really have to be on point with everything you do.
Well, here's just like a good time to take a quick commercial break. Let's hear a word from our sponsors.
So you want to make an ad for your company, right?
Yeah, Tiberius, you want to help me?
Okay, so what's the name of the company?
PPWND.
PP what?
Professional Pressure Washing and Detailing.
So you like clean driveways?
Yeah, like that. We pressure wash commercial buildings and semi-truck and trailers.
So how would someone get a hold of you?
They can visit my site at ppwnd.com or call me at 407-900-7793.
So I just tell them to call you at 407-900-7793 or visit ppwnd.com?
Yeah, Tiberius, you got it.
Cut, that's a wrap. Just use that.
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
And we're back here talking with Kimberly Darling, a professional hunter. And wait, you're a taxidermist as well? Ooh, okay. So Kim, you gotta tell me about this taxidermy stuff. How in the world did you get started?
Oddly enough, I kind of just fell into it.
Well, how'd you do that?
Well, I was paying thousands of dollars for having other people do my taxidermy. Everything from just a shoulder mount to a full body. And it could cost up to $80, $90, $100,000 just to have some of this elaborate taxidermy done. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could learn how to do this. So I did. This is going to sound creepy. Found a little bird that had been hit by a car on the side of the road. I know. It wasn't gross. It had just been hit. So it wasn't stinky. It wasn't all bleh
Was it
or
dead?
anything. It was dead. It was very dead.
Want to make sure you didn't do taxidermy on a living bird.
No, if my taxidermy flies away, something's wrong. Yeah. So I started with the little sparrow and kind of graduated up.
Huh. So why was this of interest to you? Did you just want to see if you could?
I did. I love challenging myself. I absolutely love it. I mean, I've already got multiple degrees. I'm focused on conservation and wildlife habitat conservation and population control and, feeding my family, meat without hormones or additives or anything like that, natural, pure meat. But I've also got a degree in psychology, and I've also got a degree in anesthesia. And when I get bored, I push myself to learn something new. And taxidermy just happened to be right up my alley.
So how does someone even get into learning taxidermy? Is there like a YouTube class for that I can watch?
Um, you can actually watch on YouTube. You can take courses if you want to become certified. You can talk to your local taxidermist and might even be able to become an apprentice.
Huh. That's interesting. So what was your worst taxidermy fail? Like, did you accidentally make a duck look like a dinosaur?
Oh, my stars. My first bird, the first one I told you about. Oh, it was so bad. It looked like it got struck by lightning. It had one wing going up left, it had another wing going behind it right. Just like, this is not what this bird's supposed to look like. So it was funny. That
So
was my worst whoopsie.
So how long does it take for you to stuff like an average sized bird?
An average sized bird. Are we talking a sparrow or are we talking a duck?
A duck. Why not?
A duck. An average duck will take anywhere from 6 to 8 months because of the process.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Do you have any you can show to us?
I do. Okay. So, this, I'm so honored to show you, is my very first taxidermy duck that I did myself. He's a little rough because, like I said, he is my very first taxidermy duck. Let me see if I can grab him here. This is Charlie.
Wow. That's good. That's realistic. Whoa.
Yeah. So he's really old. I don't know if you can really see the bill, but it's kind of wrinkly. He's been moved all around the country, so he's a little lopsided. But he was my very, very, very first duck.
Huh. So that was the
Yep.
one that got hit by the car.
No, this was one that I shot.
Okay. So what's
Let me set
inside
him
it? I
back.
assume it's not like Build a Bear, or is it?
Oh, no. No, it's not like Build-A-Bear. It is like a styrofoam material. Think of if you get a big box from Amazon and you got all that styrofoam in there
Oh
and it's
yeah, is that
really
what it's made of?
hard. Bingo. It's like
Okay.
that.
Okay. So what's the current demand for taxidermy?
The current demand, so there are hundreds of thousands of hunters throughout the US alone. We have tens of thousands of hunters coming from other countries to the US to be able to hunt elk and other animals that are not in their countries. So, of course, they want to preserve their hunt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you fly all the way from, say, Zimbabwe, Africa, and you come up here and you're like, I want an Alaskan moose. I want the meat. I want to be able to say I did it. And if they want to taxidermy the moose to save it, to be able to show as, I hate using this word, trophy, but to bring honor to it, to kind of still let it live. Um, yeah, we got a lot. There's a huge demand. I mean, it can take up to 2 to 3 years to get something back, depending on what you want done.
That's big. So it's a long
Yeah,
time. Well, I see
it
that
is
you
a
were in the
very long
army.
time.
Thank you for your service. But do you think that that helped provide some places for you to be able to hunt?
Um, yes, so it really did. I was born and raised in a very small town in Alabama. Um, like, I think we had 12 people in our graduating class.
Huh.
Little town, very little town.
Wow.
So, working with the army and going to nursing school and everything, I was in Texas and Colorado and Oklahoma and Alaska and, just all over the US.
Wow.
And, I got to go to Germany and just all over the place. I can't even remember all the places I've been. It's been so amazing.
Huh.
So it really opened up the ability to learn about new species that I've never personally seen, to be able to learn about their habitats, to learn about how to save their habitats, because, like with waterfowl or ducks or geese, their habitats are under threat right now. So, I work very, very, very hard with conservationists and game wardens in order to be able to help protect and save and even expand the waterfowl habitat.
So, can you share some advice for someone wanting to work in the outdoor hunting field?
Ooh, share some advice about it. Okay. Um, oh my goodness. Get ready is all I have to say. Talk to your local game wardens. Hunters make jokes about, oh, game wardens, rah, 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 stuff like that. No. Talk to your game wardens. Take a hunter's education course. Even if you're not going to hunt, it's one day, it's on a Saturday usually, and you can learn so much about conservation and wildlife protection and, um, culling and just being able to help let these animal species grow and thrive. And it's so much fun and you feel so good in your heart after you learn these things because you're the next you're guiding the next generation.
So, why would a kid want to grow up and do your job?
Why would a kid want to? Oh my goodness. Kids are the future. Kids are definitely the future. And I am so blessed to say I have two of my own. Um, you you're the ones that are going to carry on protecting these wildlife lands. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
You just, you kept kind of.
Like, well, my question was, why would a kid want to grow up and do your job?
Oh, and do my job. Oh, my apologies. Why would a kid want to grow up and do my job? Um, because you get to make the way for future generations. Um, you get to go out and travel. You get to meet so many amazing people, like celebrities. You get to meet celebrities. You get to meet musicians. You get to meet trainers, people that actually train you to call duck and goose calls and turkey calls. And I mean, it's amazing. So, yeah, I am so proud to be one of the very few female hunters that are out there.
Well, on that note, let's take a quick break to pay some bills.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And we're back here with Kimberly Darling, professional hunter, TV show personality, and so much more. So, Kim, what's one thing you wish everyone knew about hunting?
That I wish everyone knew about hunting. It would have to be the 4 C's of hunting.
Which are?
Would you like to know what those are? All right, number 1, careful. Number 1 is careful. Number 2, courteous. Number 3, considerate. Number 4, capable. So,
That's a good one. Those are some good C's.
yeah, so you have to be careful because you are carrying a loaded weapon.
Yes.
You have to be courteous because hunters are always supposed to be gracious and helpful. Always show respect to other hunters as well as property owners. If you're hunting somebody else's property, they gave you permission to be there. So take care of that land as though it is your own. And always, 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 always make sure that you are capable. And that means you have the necessary skills, including marksmanship, knowledge of the outdoors, and sound judgment.
So what's one thing that happened in your career that you did not expect?
Oh, being on TV.
Really?
I did not ever expect to do that. For many years growing up, I used to watch fishing shows like Old Bill Dance, but I never watched any hunting shows. I didn't know there were any hunting shows. And then I got invited to do one, and I'm like, ee!
So what do you say to people who say hunting is mean or cruel?
This is why I strongly practice ethical and, ethical hunting, and I practice ethical hunting, and I encourage it because, you've always got so many naysayers out there. Oh, this is mean. Oh, the animal's hurting and things like that. But the thing about it is you're actually helping the environment. If you think about it, if you look at, I'm just going to use a super quick example, coyotes. You know what coyotes are. The wild dogs that kind of run around, they're fluffy, and they actually kill more baby fawns, which are baby deer, than any other animal out there. So we have to if we want the deer population to grow, we have to cull the coyotes to let the deer population grow. And letting the deer population grow will actually feed other predators as well. So
only
it is a give and take.
Ah. So only 12% of hunters are women? Why do you think that number is still so low?
Hunting is not considered a very ladylike sport, or a profession to have. Um, you get muddy, you get dirty, you get bloody. When you're cleaning the animals, you get gutsy. I mean, it's not considered very ladylike. So the women that actually, or the young ladies, the girls that actually come into this are revered because more women, guys want more women to get into it. And that's why I do my job. I try to bring in more children. I try to bring in more women, and let them know, hey, this isn't just about killing an animal and eating it. This is about conservation. So come help, do your part.
So what do you think is the best age to learn hunting? And what's the first skill a kid should learn?
Ooh, the best age. So 4 years old is a little traumatic. I know, I've lived it. So let's say 7. 7 is probably the best time to start, but you can start hunting even if you're 65.
So I'm 7 years
So
late.
you are the perfect age. So, and the first skill that you should learn is firearm safety.
That's good. Well, if you could go back in time and give your 14-year-old self advice, what would it be?
Always be yourself. Always be yourself. Put yourself first. Take care of number one, and you are number one. So if you can do that, you can do anything.
So Kim, on your off time, besides hunting, what are your favorite things to do for fun? Other than
Ooh,
hunting and anything else to do with taxidermy or any
you
stuff
said
like that.
other than. It would have to be sports card collecting. I am big into sports cards. Um, I buy them. I go out to sports card stores and I buy them in boxes. And then I open them up, and the most expensive card I have ever come across sold for over $10,000. It was a Jaden Daniels 1 of 1.
Oh wow. Was it signed?
Yeah, it was autographed,
Huh.
and he very rarely autographs.
Oh wow. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Did you get it graded? Like it was it a grade 10 from the PSA or no?
No, that was
That was
ungraded.
base? Oh wow.
That was base.
Dang.
Yep.
Well, do you play any video games? And if so, what's your favorite one?
I do. I am a video gamer. I used to be internationally ranked at Call of Duty way back when. I grew up with World of Warcraft, and I played EverQuest, and my favorite game now would have to be either Destiny 2, or Neverwinter.
I did not expect that. Wow.
And I love Diablo. Yes!
Okay, so what's your favorite book to read?
My favorite book. Okay, so as an adult, I don't really read very many books, but as a kid, my favorite book was The Hatchet, because it was about a like wilderness survival.
It was a kid
So,
who had a plane crash in the water.
yes,
And I
yes,
read the book. I read it. I love
yes,
that book. It's so good.
it is amazing.
So, what was the biggest mistake that you've ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
Oh my. Biggest mistake I ever made.
Now you
I
can tell she's thinking
was
hard about that one.
dating a guy. I was in love. And I tattooed his name on me. Don't ever do that, kids. Don't ever tattoo anybody's name on there. Don't do it. It's a trap. So I had to have it lasered off, so
Okay,
burnt
at least you got
off.
it off. Okay.
I got it off of there. It took 12 sessions of excruciating pain.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yep.
guessing it didn't go well. So is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you and what you do?
I did walk into a glass door face first twice. One time. I did. I walked into it twice. I walked into it, smashed my face. I was like, oh my goodness. Started laughing and then turned around and walked into it again. So I may be brunette, but I am ditzy.
So, do you have a Facebook or a website for my listeners and what to follow you?
Yes. So you can follow me on Facebook on Dying Breed Television. Or you can add me on Instagram at Southern Darling 1983. All one word. Just 1983. Southern Darling 1983.
Okay. So, what is that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
I think you covered all the bases.
Okay. Alright. Well, thank you, Kimberly Darling, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Whoop. That didn't happen. Yes.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad, my computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
Well, thank you, Kim, for helping me with Math Corners. This week, we're going to do some more multi-step word problems. My dad is always good at finding new problems for me to solve, and today, we're going to talk about taxidermy. Yup, you heard me right. I think you're going to be great at this one. Okay, so Alex is a young taxidermist getting practice on his trade. Last month, he preserved 5 rabbits for $600 each and 2 foxes for $900 each. It takes 2 to 3 months to dry the hides and 10 hours each for rabbits and 15 hours for each foxes. So, how much money did Alex earn, and on average, how much per hour did he earn? And how long should he tell his clients it will take to get the job done? Wow, it's a mouthful.
So, just for the hides themselves, it is $4,800 all together for the rabbits and the foxes,
Okay.
all together.
Yeah.
Plus, you have to incorporate the $1,000 for the supplies,
Yes.
and then 2 to 3 months for drying,
Yes.
and then 2 months for mounting.
Yes. I'm just gonna explain it.
Yeah.
So this is a real world problem because you do have to keep track of time and spend on your work to be sure it's worth the pay. Now, I did not see any pay for the drying part, but oh well, we'll just continue for the sake of math. So first you have to add up all the earnings. So 5 rabbits times 500 is 3,000. That was pretty easy. 2 foxes at 900, that's 1,800. That's really easy. So we just add them together, 4,800, you were right. So, nope, I mean, of course there has to be more, right? Because that's every single math problem's fault. Now we look at the labor. 5 rabbits times 10 hours is 50 hours, and 2 foxes times 15 hours is 30 hours for the total of 80 hours. So that was pretty easy. Now you take the 4,800 and divide that by 80 hours and you get $60 per hour, which is way better than the rate of pay at McDonald's right now. But wait, there's still more! You still can't deliver the product after 80 hours because of the drying time. So Alex should tell your clients it can take anywhere from between 3 to 4 months to allow for the drying and the labor time.
You're absolutely correct.
So, Kim, I assume that you get a lot more than $900 for a fox, right?
It depends on how elaborate the mount is going to be. Let's take this Arctic fox real quick. You see it is fully taxidermied. It has been down to the hide. You can see in his mouth it's nice and dry. If you look at the fur, we've got gray in the bottom. So this is an Arctic fox. We've got everything ready to be able to slide it onto the form and get it all pinned, glued on there, and ready to go. So, yeah, it's falling off. The cat's attacking it. I'm so sorry.
Well, my teacher said that I would use math every single day. So, how do you use math with your work?
Well, for the taxidermy, we've got to know weight. We got to know different measurements, as in inches, meters, whatever it is we're going to need. Weight, definitely weight. Is as for hunting, as you can see with the firearm behind me, I don't know if you can see that. Right there, we have a scope. The scope is what calculates and tells us the distance between me and the animal that I'm hunting.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Kim, for your help with Math Corners.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. This week, we're going to talk about leadership. For me, I think leadership is the act of loving what is good, having self-control, and being disciplined. The qualities of leadership are providing guidance and direction, organization, and being a positive influence on others. So I was at league bowling this weekend, and the main coach wasn't there. And the adults that were supposed to take her place weren't there either. So we were supposed to have help picking out new teams, and no one was really showing up. So as bowlers were arriving, I would tell them that the people in charge are not here yet. And my dad told me not to be so negative and that it will all work out. Then a little kid gets them in front of everyone and tells them it's time to start the warm-up. I was like, but the people in charge aren't here. But then I realized that he was being a leader. He got everyone started, and later one of the adults came by with scoring sheets, and everything turned out okay. So, Kim, do you have an example of leadership that you saw this week?
So I actually started doing a little work over at the local VFW here in Indiana, where I live. And as for me, with my careers, working for the military and everything, I love my veterans. I love them as my patients. I love them as my friends. I love them as my customers. I just love them. So I started training for this position, we're like 2 or 3 times a week in the evenings. And the commander, the post commander, actually came out and introduced me and started showing me around, and started, telling me, okay, this is what we need you to do. This is what we're expecting of you. I said, okay. So I kind of go off on my own, and I had questions. I had so many questions. So I was looking for him everywhere. And I started getting nervous because I'm like, oh my goodness, am I doing my job right? Am I not? I can't find him. And then the second in command of the VFW post came out and reassured me and told me, he was like, hey, remember, this is what we expect of you. Remember, this is what you're here for. Remember, you can do it. So it put my mind at ease.
Okay. Well, we should always try to be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Kimberly Darling for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking with you today. I think we learned a lot about your work as a professional hunter and a taxidermist. This was loads of fun.
Yes, absolutely. If anybody ever has any questions or wants to learn about hunting and getting into it, definitely look me up on Instagram, Southern Darling 1983. You'll see my picture on there and the link and everything to Dying Breed Television, where you can watch me on TV.
Well, you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show, and I would like to thank WWPR 1490 AM, K998, Soul Radio 24/7, EasyBay TV, and all of the other stations that air my show. And please visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. So, Kim, are you subscribed yet?
I actually am.
So, Himbrel_11 says, love the bloopers, and Penguin Brothers for Life says, hey, love the videos. Well, thank you guys so much, and be sure to leave me a comment on my videos, and I might even mention yours at the end of the show. And also, be sure to listen to us next on the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy. That's a wrap.